Hey everyone, and welcome to the 3 by the Sea Designs YouTube channel. My name is Kim, and this channel is a podcast that is all about the 3 by the Sea Designs life that I have with my mom Dreama and my sister Becky. We have a shop where we sell our handmade project bags and stitch markers and hand-dyed yarn for knitters and crocheters. So welcome to the channel. Welcome to episode 32. Yes, 32. Today is Friday, July 28th, 2023. I have quite a bit to show you guys today, so let's get started. There is a glare on my glasses and it's driving me crazy, but I'm sitting in front of my window in the dye studio and it's so bright and sunny today, super hot like always in July in Florida. And so there is a slight glare. I hope that's not bothering you guys because I know it's definitely gonna bother me. Okay, so let's talk a little bit of shop news. So I told you guys on the last episode a couple weeks ago that we were going to be introducing something called Salty Skeins. They are our one-of-a-kinds that we have accumulated over the last, I don't know, year and a half or so. And every time we are developing new colorways, we try them out. Sometimes they're on a practice base meaning it's not a base that we have in the shop. And sometimes it is on our regular Sanibel base, it just depends. So we decided we've just been saving them up over, like I said, the last year and a half, and we decided to add them to the shop. We're going to call them Salty Skeins. They are one-of-a-kinds. Some of them we put together as sock sets, and some of them are just single skeins. We only have a very limited number of them. So basically what you see is what you're getting in the pictures. I'm gonna show you, where are they at? They're all in this bin right here. I'm gonna pull them out and show you them individually. Some of them are going to look similar to colorways that we've had in the past. So if there was a colorway that you missed out on in the past and it looks similar, it's probably was one of our prototypes. There's absolutely nothing wrong with these skeins at all. They are just colorways that we decided not to add to the shop, or colorways that we were trying to get perfect. So maybe there's one shade off from a colorway that we had in the shop. Again, absolutely nothing wrong with them. They're all gorgeous. They are, and like I said, they're one of a kind, and we will not be having these back in the shop. We decided maybe a few times a year we'll add Salty Skeins, and as we accumulate them. And it's kind of fun because they're discounted for you guys. So we're going to be having a sale. And that kind of leads me to my next topic, which is our sale. So starting tomorrow on Saturday, which is July 29th, we're going to be having a sale in the shop on all stitch markers, including some clearance items. So we are making room for our fall collection that we are working really, really hard on. We don't have a ton of yarn in the shop, but we will be adding the Salty Skeins as of tomorrow. So they'll be there tomorrow for the sale. So that will run probably for about a week or so. We haven't decided how long, but at least through the weekend and into next week, the sale will be going on in the shop. So that's super exciting. Stock up on some Christmas stitch markers because those will be on sale as well. So if you're looking for some stocking stuffers or Christmas gifts for your fiber friends, then definitely take advantage of our sale. So all the stitch markers will be on sale, including clearance items. So between the Salty Skeins and the yarn that we have currently in the shop, which isn't much, just a couple skeins left here and there of certain things, as well as the stitch marker sale, there's lots to check out in the shop. One of the other things I wanted to mention that is currently in the shop on pre-order right now is our Stargazer Fade Set. I'll put a picture up of it here. It's an absolutely gorgeous set The pinks fade from our lightest shade to darkest shade in this beautiful blush pink. And it's actually the set that Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady is using right now to make her niece a sweater. So we were very excited about that because it's turning out absolutely beautiful. I love fade sets. And so right now we have it on pre-order. But the cool thing is that you can get it on 100 gram skeins, or you can get it on 50 gram skeins. Also, you can get it on our Sanibel fingering weight base, or you could get it on our Destin DK weight base. So lots of options for that pre-order. The pre-order will come down in a few days. We'll probably leave it up through like the end of July, beginning of August, because we're gonna go ahead and get everything dyed and ready to go to ship out probably no later than the second week of August is when we said that we would have those shipped out. So just a few days left to get in on that pre-order. It's such a beautiful fade set. I can't wait to see how Kay's sweater turns out. It's absolutely gorgeous. And like I said, you can get it on 100 gram skeins or 50 gram skeins. So is that it? I believe so. For current things in the shop, at the end of August, we will have our mystery sock set back in the shop. It will be a Halloween theme, and it will ship at the end of September, right in time for October knitting or crocheting. And then our fall collection update, which will be new bags, stitch markers, progress keepers, that will be either at the end of August, but we're thinking more the beginning of September. So it probably will not be Labor Day weekend because we don't like to update on holiday weekends. But the weekend after that, which is September 9th, I believe. So it could be anywhere in that 2-week range. We haven't quite decided yet. We're leaning more towards September for that, but I will definitely keep you posted. And as always, check our Instagram and our Facebook pages because we always update those as well. All of the links to everything that I talked about, shop news, all of that stuff, links to our Etsy shop, links to our social medias, everything is down below in the description box. So places I talk about, shops, designers, other knitters and crocheters, you know, that I've mentioned, yarn dyers, all of that stuff that I talk about. If there's a link to them, then I will put it down in the description box below. So definitely check that out if you have any questions. And if you can't find something that you're looking for, just send me a message or leave me a comment down below and I'll try to help you. Whew. Okay, so let me show you the salty skeins that we are going to have in the shop as of Saturday. And now remember, these are one-of-a-kinds. They are, we've put some of them together with sock sets. Some of these are our Sanibel base, which is what our fingering sock weight base that we have in the shop. And some of these are a different base that we do not have in the shop. They are 75-25 superwash merino nylon, fingering weight, sock yarn. It's just a different base. We can't get this base from the supplier anymore because they're no longer in business. We loved this base when we stocked up on the yarn when they were still around, when the supplier was still around. But when we started actually dyeing yarn to sell, they were no longer in business, this company. So we had all of this yarn that we didn't want to introduce it as a new base in our shop because we weren't going to be able to keep going with that base because we only had a limited number of the supply. But so we thought it would be good to use as practice yarn, as practicing our colorways, as, you know, perfecting everything. So that's why some of the bases are different. So that's kind of exciting because you cannot get this base anymore, like I was saying, and I loved this base. Becky and I both love it so much. And we're kind of sad that we can't sell it as a regular base in the shop. So for now, unless that company comes back in business, it's just going to be one of a kinds until we run out of that yarn. I don't think we have much of it left, actually. Okay, so these are our salty skeins. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of them. So I'm sure there's going to be something for you. All right. And again, these colorways are going to look somewhat similar to colorways that we've had in the past. We've made some sock sets and some singles as well, in case you don't want a sock set or you do want a sock set. So they're not gonna have names, but if you remember our seashells colorway, She Sells Seashells, this one looks very, very similar to it. So we have 2 of those. We have some Christmas colored yarn. We have 1 with a red mini and 2 with a green mini. This colorway was very similar to a colorway we had last summer, Christmas in July, called Visit from St. Nick. And so you can see they're very similar. They're just slightly different. Maybe we changed a dye color, or maybe we changed just something about the technique that we were using. So, and as you can see, it's going to say, all of them are going to say Salty Sock Sets, and it'll have the content on the list, on the label. We have this beautiful, we just have 1 of these. This was a colorway that we had some leftover dye with, and I wanted to see what these greens and blues would look like together. And it's with a really pretty light blue mini. So gorgeous. Now we have some singles. Let me show you. You guys might recognize this colorway. This is basically Christmas Island, but we're selling it as a salty skein because it's on our base that we do not offer in the shop. This is such a fun colorway. We definitely have to bring this back in the future, but for now, these are one of a kinds, and we do have 3 of them. So that is basically Christmas Island. These are going to look very similar to Bunny Trail, a colorway that sold out super, super fast in the spring. It's very, very similar. I don't even, oh, this was on our practice base. That's why. This looks very similar to a color we had last fall called Pressed Flowers. Such a beautiful speckled colorway, very light and dainty. It looks just like a bouquet of dried fall flowers. We have 3 single Christmas colorways, very similar to Visit from St. Nick as well. These are singles. This colorway looks very similar to Triple Berry Tart, one that we had last fall. Whoops. Such a gorgeous mix of purples and reds and blues. So beautiful. Triple Berry Tart. Again, these won't be named because these are not the actual colorway. They'll just say Salty Skeins on them. This is similar to Blossoms Over Tokyo that we had in the shop. This is on our practice base. Okay, we have a couple of very similar to Lily Pond. This base just takes the dye so pretty. It just sort of shines with everything, looks so bright on it. So this is very similar to Lily Pond. We cannot keep Lily Pond in the shop. Every time we have it in the shop, it sells out. So If you are wanting any lily pond, this is as close to lily pond as we will have for a little while. 3 more that look very similar to Bunny Trail. I love this version of Bunny Trail that we did because this one had some purple in it. We didn't end up going with the purple, and I think we didn't end up going with the black. The technique, we speckled it instead of adding like liquids. But I love how this one turned out. These are so pretty. 3 more that look very similar to seashells, but this was a speckled version that we did where it was completely speckles with just a tiny bit of liquids. So, so pretty. This one is just one of these. We were practicing some colors for Flower Power, and we wanted to see how the neons would look together. So we just have one of these available. It's got a lot of the colors from Flower Power in it. All right, I think that's it for our practice base, which is again a 75-25 superwash merino nylon. It has 100 grams, 415 yards. So that's it for those. Then we have our Sanibel base, which is a base we have in the shop. These are all colorways that some of them are either past sock sets, like mystery sock sets that we were practicing, or some of them are just one of a kinds that we didn't end up putting in the shop. So we have 2 sock sets. This was looks very similar to our Wizard of Oz collection that we did, or not collection, but our sock set, our mystery sock set. We have 2 of those, so beautiful. We have a Christmas sock set. It's got greens and silvers, pinks, reds, a little bit of blue in there, all kinds of Christmas colors in there. Some speckles with a bright red mini. We have a couple more Wizard of Oz colorways. These come with 2 minis. It comes with a purple and a red. I think we only have 2 of these available. Again, same colors as in the Wizard of Oz. We just did a different technique. We were just trying different things. So beautiful. I absolutely love these with the red and the purple mini. They look so pretty. This looks very similar to the Charlie Brown Christmas mystery sock set that we had. Bright, super bright colors, a little bit of neons in there. Got some really pretty pinks and purples. So that's really fun. This blue color is very, very similar to our Robin's Egg sock set that we had. There's only, I think these were just a few, maybe a shade darker than the Robin's Egg that we had, but it's a beautiful, beautiful blue tonal colorway with lots of dark teal speckles in it. Hopefully you can see those speckles. And it comes with a teal mini. We have this one. I think we just have one of these. This, maybe this was supposed to be this was one of the versions of She Sells Seashells, I think. It looks kind of similar to it. We dye so much yarn, I don't remember. It comes with a green and a blue mini. We have one Christmas Island sock, not Christmas Island, Visit from St. Nick sock set on our Sanibel base with a red and green mini. This one has beautiful, it's very moody. It's got dark browns and reds, some dark sort of hunter green colors, little bits of gold in there. It's just so beautiful. And then we have 3 sock sets. I have a feeling these are going to be very, very popular. So we have 2 of them with a purple mini. These are one of a kinds, such fun colors, aquas and greens with blues, purple speckles, red speckles, and it comes with a purple mini. So we have 2 of these with a purple mini, and we have 1 of these with an aqua mini. Such a fun colorway. Totally one of a kind. This one's never been in the shop. This one looks sort of similar to our Alice in Wonderland colorway, but we ended up going with some completely different colors with it, but it looks similar a little bit to our Wonderland colorway. Okay, so that's it for sock sets. We have a few things that we're offering as singles on our Sanibel vase. 3 of these beautiful Wizard of Oz renditions just as singles. Gosh, these are so gorgeous. I love these colors. 3 of these Salty Skeins. Very similar to Bunny Trail. Again, just different techniques, maybe a few different colors. These are very similar to Smooth Sailing. So if you missed out on Smooth Sailing, definitely check these out. They're very, very similar. So beautiful. Just little pops of color throughout. These look very similar to Butterfly Garden. There's a lot more gold in these than there was in Butterfly Garden, but everything else is the same about them. Very, very beautiful. This was a very popular colorway at springtime, and we do not have any left in the shop. So 3 of these. We have 3 of this really pretty dark navy. So if you're looking for something to do with some tonals, so beautiful. It looks almost like a denim color, like a dark denim. See if I can get that shade. It's hard to get the blue to show up. I think that's a good right there. 3 more that look very similar to Smooth Sailing, just a little bit more green on the green side than blue. But gosh, these are so beautiful. They look like something mermaidy. So, so pretty. And then we have 1 skein. This looks very similar to our mulled wine colorway that we had, with the red, sort of cranberry red. There's browns. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very tonal, so it's got lights and dark areas. I made a Memories of Paris cowl from this colorway, and it turned out gorgeous. If I can find a picture of it, I'll pop it up here of what it looked like. So just 1 of these. So that's it for the Salty Skeins. I mean, I say that's it like that's not a lot, but it's a lot. So we're very excited to be able to offer these to you guys. And you know, like I was saying, we have been saving these up for a long time now, and we finally had time to sit down and really go through what we had and figure out what we wanted to put in the shop. Becky came up with the Salty Skeins name, and I just thought that was so cute. That goes totally with our Florida vibes that we have going on. So these will all be available starting Saturday, which is tomorrow, July 29th. All right, let's talk about a couple of whips that I have. So I thought, since we were introducing our Salty Skeins to you, that I would start a new sock based on this yarn that we've had from the beginning, and I'm gonna explain it. So, like I was saying earlier, when we first started selling our hand-dyed yarn, the very first colorway we came out with was called She Sells Seashells. And so we wanted it to be perfect. We practiced it a million different times, and well, it felt like that anyway. I think the very first pot of She Sells Seashells that we dyed was this one. So this was the very first rendition of Seashells. As you can see, it really probably looks nothing like the new one, or the one that we ended up going with. There's a dye in here called Kelly Green, which is this super bright, like intense green. And I love Kelly Green, the dye, but Kelly Green has a tendency to spread and to take over your colorway. So if you put too much or you spread it around, it's gonna just take over everything. It just completely absorbs all of the other color. So obviously we didn't go with this colorway because we didn't want there to be that much green. We wanted seashells to look more on the blue side with just pops of green in it. But so we laughed, Becky and I laughed at this colorway because she said it looks like, she said it reminded her of when, you know how when you, in the old days anyway, when you turned on your TV and the tint, the color was off on the TV and you had to adjust it. She said it looks like when, you know, everybody looked green on the screen before you adjusted the tint on the TV. So we called it TV tint. So we kept this for a long time. Every time we looked at it, we'd laugh because we'd be like, oh, look, there's TV tint. And kind of, you see where you've come from to how far you've come in your dye process. You know, when you're first starting dyeing, you don't really know a lot. Each dye has its own characteristics. Kelly Green, in particular, likes to spread. You can only use a teeny tiny bit of Kelly Green. But if you don't know that beforehand, then that's why practice is the key to good yarn dyeing. So, but it's not an ugly colorway. It's just not at all what we were going for. But Becky didn't like it. She was like, I don't like the overall vibe of it. And so the other day, when we were looking through all of our salty skeins, trying to get everything paired up and ready to go, we found this and I was like, I am going to cast on a pair of socks with this because I'm dying to see what it looks like. So I took, because we had 3 of them. So I took one of the skeins, I caked it up, and I took it on vacation to Orlando with me. And I was like, I'm gonna cast it on and see what it looks like because it's probably gonna end up being really cute. And it is, so let me show you. I have this pair of socks in this super cute bag that my mom made, I don't know, a few years ago. It's got this like faux patent leather bottom and the handle too. It's just so cute. So I don't know if we ever even had these in the shop, but maybe we did, I don't remember. But look at the inside too. It's got the polka dots inside. This would be a fun one to bring back to the shop. And it even has a matching mini pouch too. The little zipper pull. Okay, so this is what the yarn looks like caked up. Now, when you see a skein of yarn, sometimes it's hard to imagine what it's going to look like. Even caked up looks different than what it looks like knit up. That's why a lot of dyers that sell their yarn make swatches, because they want you to see what it looks like, give you an idea anyway of a swatch, of a knitted swatch and a crocheted swatch. So it kind of takes the guesswork out of it. So typically when you see a skein like this that's highly variegated, meaning there's color placement all over the place, it's going to knit up that way, where there's going to be pops of color everywhere. Certain colorways, depending on what you're knitting or crocheting, can pool in areas where the color sort of stays in one place all throughout. It depends on what you're making. A lot of times knitting in the round can give you some color pooling. Sometimes the color pooling is on purpose because you want those pops of color to be in certain areas. But what I always like to do, and this is why we like to show the skein opened up, is because you can learn how to read the skeins based on what they look like. So if you see an area, see how there's just kind of random colors all throughout. And then you might see a couple of areas with some larger blocks of color. It just depends. It really all depends on what you're making. Even within socks themselves, it depends, because so I wanted to make a pair of shorties and I wanted to see what the socks would look like in a 72 count stitch versus a 64 count. So I started the I started the cuff. I did a 2x2 knit 2 purl 2 ribbing for the cuff, and I started it with 72 stitches. And as you can see, it's harder to see with ribbing, but as you can see, the colors are not necessarily pooling, but they're making a definite pattern where they're gonna swirl. If I had kept going with that stitch count, it would have kept going around in a swirl pattern. Personally, I like it when the color is more random like this and kind of goes all over the place. But as you can see, when I switched from a 72 count down to a 64 count, I just decreased when I got done with the ribbing. You can see that the pattern immediately changed of the color placement. I would never have thought that this yarn would look like this. I don't know why I didn't think that, because when you hold them up next to each other, it looks similar, but it just goes to show you that something that you would look at initially and go, I don't know that I necessarily like that skein, give it a chance, because when it knits up, it's actually really cute. So you may have a skein in your stash that is highly, highly variegated and you have like no idea what you're going to make with it or what it's gonna look like. Give it a chance, because it may end up being something super cute. If you're not a sock knitter, try it with a hat, or try it with a small scarf. Or a cowl, something to where you're gonna get an idea quickly of what it's going to look like. So it's always exciting to try, and that's one of the fun things about those skeins, is that you just really never know what they're gonna look like. That's kind of the fun part for me anyway. I like to see the process of how it's gonna look from skein to cake to the actual project. So definitely try it and let me know what you guys think of it as well. The other works in progress that I have, a lot of them I haven't worked on. We went on vacation to Orlando. We had a great time, and as much as I wanted to get some knitting done, I did do some knitting there and I made some progress on things, but I just relaxed and, I wasn't on social media, hardly at all. I didn't even take a whole lot of pictures and video. I did take a little bit that I will show probably next time on the next episode. I'll put a few things up here that we did. We basically just hung out at the resort the whole time. We swam a lot, and the one thing that I really wanted to do was to go paddle boating, because the place where we stayed is right on a humongous lake and they have paddle boats. But every time we went down to rent a paddle boat, the weather was either too windy or it was about to storm, or they weren't doing the paddle boats. So I didn't get to even do the one thing that I wanted to do while we were there. But we did go eat some yummy food. We had some good desserts. And I just really enjoyed spending time with my family. So not a lot of progress to show on anything except for this shrug. So let me go through. I showed this last time, I had just started it. This is the Gofleidio Shrug by Expression Fiber Arts. And it's a DK weight shrug. You use 6 skeins of yarn. And y'all, I am almost done. I'm so excited about this. This is basically, this and a couple other things are all I have been working on. I haven't made any progress on all the other stuff, but let me show you. So, okay. Oh my gosh, it looks so pretty on the camera. So last time I showed it, I have a progress keeper somewhere. Last time I showed it, I was right here where that cute little sun is. I had just started the last color. And so since then, I have, oops, almost the whole other side finished. And I'm on the last color again. I'm on the truly last color. And I have joined back in the round just for a couple of rows. And so now I'm going to finish off. Gosh, it looks so, so pretty. This is a fade that I picked out from my Avery Lane Creations subscription. And so you start off with one side, you start off in the round and then you split off and you're knitting back and forth, front to back, the whole rest of the way, fading in all of these colors. So I just went through my Avery Lane's subscription, through my stash, and I picked out colors that I liked. Oh my gosh, I love it. So it's almost finished. Now, once it's blocked, so see, it's just a shrug. So it's meant to, I think once it's blocked, this cuff will probably go all the way down close to my wrist, like this. Here is the back. Oops. So it looks like this on the back. So basically you start with one color, you go all the way to the middle, and you do that middle section, and then it reverses back. So it's very symmetrical looking. And once it's blocked, it'll go down even further, I think. It's gonna bloom once it's blocked. I love my color choices. I love how I faded it from the blues into the sort of greener colors and then the pinks and purples. I'm just loving it. Even though it's DK weight, it's very light because of how open it is. And her colors are just fantastic. I'm very, very happy with my subscription to Avery Lane. If you're looking for a subscription box, definitely check out Avery Lane. So that is where I'm at. I'm so close to being finished. I've been weaving in the ends as I go. So every time I put in a new color, I'm weaving in the ends, which is so helpful to do. I highly recommend weaving in the ends as you go. I might even try one all in one color, just so I have something that's a little more neutral to wear with things. But this one, I just love how bright and cheerful the colors are. So I can't wait to get it finished and blocked and really see how it fits. I think I made the size medium, and all the size is, when it has a small, medium, and large, is how long, it's the length. So you can make it shorter, like basically the wingspan. So you can make it shorter or longer depending on what you want. So I'm very, very happy with it. I can't wait to get this finished. It's been a really fun project. This is her label for her yarn. The DK is 85-15, so 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. and it has 246 yards per 100 grams. And I have this project in this super cute tie-dye extra large drawstring bag that we had in the shop at summertime. This is the first time I've actually had a project in our extra large drawstring, and I am loving this size. It is perfect for larger projects, for sweaters, blankets. It's fantastic. And like when I was on vacation, I put my smaller project bag inside of here. So I just had everything in one place. So I highly, highly recommend our extra large drawstrings. So they are great to have for your larger projects. So I don't have any finished objects or Happy Mail to show you actually, because it's only been 2 weeks since I recorded, and I haven't, like I said, I was in Orlando for 5 days, and I was gonna go to some yarn shops over there, but I just didn't have time. So I wasn't gonna stress about it because I did really want to go, but I just didn't get to it. It rained almost every day, which was fine because in Florida during the summer, if you get out early enough and go do all of your outdoor activities in the morning, then you beat all of that, because the afternoon showers, the thunderstorms, they all come in around 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. The kids really enjoyed being away for a few days, so I had a great time with them. It'd been a couple of years since we'd gone and stayed in Orlando, so it was really nice. But one thing I pulled from my stash that I wanted to show you, this is a Regia cotton yarn. It's a sock weight yarn. The colorway is called Tutti Frutti. I may have even shown this on here before, but I've always wanted to knit with it. And since it's summertime, I've been wanting to make cotton socks forever. And I pulled this from my stash and I was like, ooh, this would be, because I've tried with other cotton yarns and it just didn't work. So this one is 72% cotton, 18% polyamide, and 10% polyester. So it's got the nylon in it because I think the polyamide is what the nylon is. It's 100 grams, 459 yards. I will link the website down below. I saw it earlier. It says do not tumble dry, but they are machine washable, and it says to wash the socks inside out. That's all so interesting. Maybe so it doesn't pill. But yes, there is a website right here. I don't know if it's gonna show up, but I will link it down below. But I wonder if they have other colors, because I'm gonna knit with these, and I'll probably cast on a pair of socks before the next episode, because I would love to see how it is. Because I think that either my mom gave this to me or I bought it at a yarn shop. I'm pretty sure I bought it at a yarn shop over in Orlando, like a few years ago. So I will report back on this and see how it goes. I did start a tee with the cotton linen yarn, but I've only done a couple of rows of the ribbing at the top. So hopefully I'll have more to show you next time with that, because there's really not much to show at all. But I have enjoyed it so far. It is very different though working with linen, I will say. It's a lot different working with linen and cotton, where there's no wool, no elasticity, nothing. What else? I think that's it. This is probably gonna be a shorter episode today, hopefully. I really just wanted to check in with you guys, show you the salty skeins, and kind of catch up where I'm at with everything. We're busy getting some Halloween and fall yarn dyed and project bags made, and we've got all the stitch markers already all organized and figured out. So we are just chugging along, getting ready for fall. Don't forget about our sale that starts tomorrow on Saturday. All stitch markers are going to be on sale. We're going to add our salty skeins, which are a sale. They're going to be at a discounted price as well, all the salty skeins and salty sock sets. So definitely check it out. If you have any questions, you can always email us or message us on Etsy or Instagram, Facebook, all of those ways. Make sure you join our Mermakers Facebook group. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying your summers, enjoying all of the projects that you're working on. Comment and let me know below what you guys are working on. I know I said there was going to be a giveaway on the next episode, but I did not have time. I was going to dye up a one of a kind to go with the salty skein theme, but I haven't had time to dye it yet. So on the next episode, I will have a truly one of a kind. I'm gonna record the process of me dyeing it, and then I will use that as a giveaway. I'll make some kind of sock set with it. So maybe let me know in the comments like what some of the colors you'd like to see in the skein that I dye up for the giveaway. All right, guys, thank you again so much for watching, and take care. I'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Bye.